Hello and welcome. My name is Metamonen and today we are broadcasting round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A series here. And we find ourselves at Imola tonight for round 4 of this series. So this is what's coming up. So Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A single car series here. So we'll go to the next slide here. So here's our event details tonight. Qualifying 1, 10 minutes sets the grid for race 1, which will be a 5-lap sprint race to the end. Qualifying 2, same format, 10 minutes, but they'll set the grid for race 2. And with race 2, a 5-lap sprint race as well. And then for race 3, that will be a 12-lap sprint race, but that will be reverse grid combined results from race 1 and race 2 tonight. So that's what we got coming up after this practice session that's currently going on at this stage. So here's the circuit we are racing at tonight, Imola. Distance 4.909 kilometres with 21 corners. Very fast flowing and a very technical fast flowing circuit. So it's going to invite a lot of overtaking opportunities tonight. And it's going to invite a lot of close racing, no doubt, on the spectator point of view as well. So it's going to be a very good one to watch tonight, no doubt. And here is our championship standings after 3 rounds, and it's going to be You'll Be Dead at the top with a 25-point advantage. It's quite a hefty advantage considering we're only 3 rounds in of this 7-round series here. He's gotten that in favour over Blue XR8 in P2, who's on 154 points. So we got Titan in P3, Eagle Wind in P4, and then Someone Awesome round out the top 5. So those top 5 drivers all within 43 points of one another. So it's everything to play for those guys. Then we've got Ty Morgo, Cheese Noodles, Morningstar Mike, Hammer, and Kakadu rounding out the top 10. The top 10 drivers all within 1 round's worth of points from one another. So those guys are the true contenders at this stage throughout the mid-stage of this series. We go further down. We've got Angry Old Fella, Black Wildcats, Stubbies, EXO, GTR, Nachos, Aussie, and Fluffy Windows rounding out positions 11th to 18th. Those guys got to make a lot of ground tonight if they're to keep their championship hopes alive in the final 3 rounds in this series. So we'll tick over to the team's championship scenario where it's Titan Snake Oil Racing with a 27-point advantage over Big Brass Bulls Racing. Those guys got a lot of work to do if they are to make inroads in that deficit. Then we've got Backmarker Racing in P3. You'll Be Dead championship leader driving for them. He's got big weight on his shoulders tonight if he's to chip into that 81-point deficit for the team's championship. We've got Angry Mongos in P4. Cack Attack Racing in P5 on 219. So 4th and 5th, both equal on points. Those guys are going to try to get the best of one another tonight, no doubt. Then in P6, we've got Back in Black Racing. Those guys looking for a big haul of points tonight. They find themselves at 194 points. On 192 points in P7s, we have Hammer and Tongs, those guys looking to get the better of Back in Black Racing. And then we've got Osru Racing in P8 with 124 points. So they need a big points haul tonight as well. Hey there, amazing. Great to have you on board for this stream tonight, mate. So we'll get right into the live scenes where the guys are finishing up a practice session here. So there's all of our timings done and dusted. So it'll be You'll Be Dead, the championship leader, with the early pace with a 156.6. He's blazing away half a second ahead of Hammer in P2. So let's get right into this. I'll switch over my input here. Shut that shit down. So the guys are starting to get out on track right now. You can see how busy pit lane is. There's a lot of cars stuck in the first sector of the track. So it's going to be very hard to get these tyres up to temp earlier on, considering it's a very fast-flowing track. You really got to work in these tyres earlier on in the first sector if they're to come to click to the levels that you want come the first sector on your hot lap. Currently we're on board with the championship leader, You'll Be Dead, driving the number 22 green machine there for Backmarker Racing. He's partnered up with Nachos. He's currently in P5 on track at the moment. So for the meantime, we'll stay on board with You'll Be Dead. He's going to really warm up these brakes down this back straight heading into the chicane here. So very light fuel loads for these guys tonight in qualifying. 11 litres for You'll Be Dead. So he doesn't have much of an opportunity if he stuffs up the first lap. He's got to get in a good banker lap the first time around so he knows what he's dealing with here. Remember, he was the pace setter in practice just a moment ago with a 1:56, 7 or 8, one of the two. That's a very competitive time. He's got half a second in hand over the rest of the field, so he is blazing earlier on at Imola. So here we go. He's on his hot lap now, coming down the main straight across control line. In a few moments' time, very fast top speed circuit. Very deep braking zone heading into turn 2 here. Guys go back to second. Some go back to third if they've got the apexes to perfection. It's very hard to get on the throttle for that fast left-hander if you hit the inside curb just a little bit. It's a very tricky braking zone here. A lot of trail braking. Heading into this very fast chicane. You're going to try not to get all the way wide on that green stuff there, otherwise you'll be caught with a time or slow down penalty rather. This hairpin, very hard to get on the power as well. If you've got the car set up right, then you won't have any extra oversteer whatsoever. So we're not going to get any indications earlier on with time references here out of the first sector, because we've got no reference for You'll Be Dead here. So we're going in blind on this first hot lap with the championship leader. So Black Wildcats a 2:05.2 with an outlap. Nachos a 2:10.5 for his outlap. So pretty much no reference for those guys either in comparison to what's going to be a competitive qualifying lap tonight. A lot of curb usage from You'll Be Dead at the slow chicane there in the mid-sector. And that's what you want to see. That opens up the corner exit as well. You're able to get on the power a lot earlier if you've opened it up a lot through that mid-section of that chicane. Now this is the tricky bit. The last two corners, if you go at the slightest bit wide, you're going to invalidate your lap time. We've had Angry Old Fella already invalidate his lap time by the looks of it in this session by exceeding track limits, and that no doubt would have been in the last couple of corners. What's this going to be for You'll Be Dead across the line? Is it going to be comparable to his practice time? A 1:57.5. That's a very good banker lap for the first time around, but we did see him in the 1:56s in the practice session. We'll go on board with Hammer. He was P2 in the practice session, so he's got pretty good pace up his sleeve tonight. Currently throughout the mid-sector, fast left-hander, downhill braking zone here. And then that slight uphill kink right-hander up here. Very hard to get on the power if you driving over the inside curb there. So heading down the back straight now, heading into the chicane section. Now can he replicate You'll Be Dead's entry? Not as aggressive on the curbs, and it's really hindered his exit there. Didn't really open it up exit as much as he wanted there. But he's up 6.4 seconds on his quickest here. So it's looking to be a very good time for him. A 1:58 provisionally. That will put him in the top 4 spots here. So Hammer out of the last couple of corners now. Down the main straight. What's this going to be for him in a few moments' time? We've got one of the backmarker racing cars in the background there. That might be the car You'll Be Dead. We'll wait and see as Hammer crosses the line. What's this going to be for him? It's going to be P2, a 1:58.4. But it's still a second off You'll Be Dead, who's currently in the mid-sector. He's on a very fast lap here, a second ahead out of the mid-sector. Last couple of corners now. Surely this is going to get in the 1:56s. A mid 156 he's on track for here. Is that gone too wide? No. So he's got away on that one there. It's a lot of exit curb usage from You'll Be Dead. This is going to be across the control line. We've got less than 4 minutes left in qualifying one here. And that's going to be a 156.6. So a blistering lap time there from You'll Be Dead, the championship leader. We'll quickly hop on board with Morningstar Mike. He's in the mid-sector now throughout the slow chicane section. Got a reasonable exit there. We're about to get a timing reference out of the mid-sector for Morningstar Mike. It's almost half a second up. So he's going to be able to challenge for P2 here, which is currently occupied by Hammer. And he should be able to get him by quite a comfortable margin if he can hold on to the time in the last sector. Through the last couple of corners now, he's got a couple of cars ahead, so there's going to be a slipstream effect coming into play for Morningstar Mike. There might be a few more temps gained out of that. We'll wait and see as he crosses the control line in a few moments. We're back in black racing. Morningstar Mike across the line now. It's going to be P2, but it's a second off the fastest lap in this qualifying session set by You'll Be Dead. We'll quickly on board with Titan. He's in the first sector now. Currently P3, 1.5 seconds off the pace of provisional pole of You'll Be Dead. So we're about to get that first timing reference, and Titan stuffed it up. He's got a little bit too much curb on corner entry there. So Hammer's currently relegated back to P5. Very good qualifying performance from Black Wildcat so far. So we'll quickly stay on board with him. We'll get the first timing reference. He's made a huge mistake there out of the hairpin section. What's this going to be for Blue XR8? Currently P7, not quick enough to improve. Someone awesome's parked up in P8. Kakadu joining back. I don't think he's going to be able to make the first race by the looks of it. We'll go on board with Angry Oldfella. He's currently in the mid-sector, in the very technical section of the track. Very easy to get wrong, but it's very rewarding if you can get it right. And he's went a little bit wide up the hill section there, so it might have hindered a little bit of time from his lap time there. We'll wait and see out of the mid-sector sector split, which is coming up in a few moments' time. So second, the fourth, those guys are all parked up in pit lane, and they will not be able to come out for another hot lap. So no timing reference there from Angry Old Fella. We'll see if we get a timing reference from Ty Morgo. Coming out of the mid-sector in a couple of seconds. He's 0.2 of a second down. Exo currently sitting P11. Coming out the chicane section now throughout the mid-sector. About to get a timing reference for Exo. That's going to be 1.9 seconds up on his quickest. Currently not going to improve on the standings. Nacho's coming out of the last couple of corners now down the main straight. He's got a car up ahead to get a little bit of a slipstream on. So let's see if this improves his lap time here. So we've got 40 seconds left in the qualifying session. It's not going to be an improvement for Nachos, unfortunately. Championship leader is parked up. Provisional pole for him. 156.6 is his quickest. And then P2 we've got Morningstar Michael for 157.5. He's looking quite fast there with that time there. Titan with a 158.2 in P3. We've got Stubbies in P4 with 158.2. And Hammer moves up into the top three with a 157.5. So he's almost replicated the lap time of Morningstar Mike. Blue XR8 goes in the P2, a 156.7, only 1/10 off the provisional pole time set by You'll Be Dead. So we got to watch Blue XR8's lap with a close eye here as he's setting himself up in the first sector now for an all-out attack to get pole position here at Imola for the first sprint race of round 4. Very aggressive over the curbs here. Coming through the hairpin section now. Got to be able to get on the power very early. It's 1.5 of a second down. He's 6/100ths up on his quickest time here. So he's really looking to challenge the provisional pole position time set by You'll Be Dead. A 156.6 is the time to beat here at Imola in qualifying one. And Blue XR8 stuffed it. He's binned it throughout the mid-sector. He's done and dusted for Blue XR8. So by the looks of it, it's going to be pole position for You'll Be Dead. The only ones that can improve. Ty Morgo coming out the last couple of corners now. Let's see if there's an improvement for him. but he's all the way down, back in P9, 3 seconds off the pace of the pole position time set by You'll Be Dead. Let's see if it can challenge for any of these mid-pack guys. Let's see if it can put him into the top 5. He's going to get a 158.2. The challenge Titan here across the line now for Ty Morgo. It's only good enough for P8. But any improvement, very good for him. So he'll be starting on the 4th row there alongside someone awesome. So here is the official results for qualifying 1. Championship leader, You'll Be Dead. Pole position for him. Looking very good to extend his points haul tonight in round 4. Blue X-Ray in P2. Morningstar Mike round out the top 3. Very good qualifying performance for him. Hammer in P4. Titan in P5. Then we got Black Wildcats in P6. P7, someone awesome. Ty Morgo in P8. Angry Old Fella P9. Very good qualifying performance for EXO round out the top 10. Then we got Eagle Wind, Nachos rounding out the 12-car grid here. We're meant to have Kakadu in. Unfortunately, he won't be able to make the race at this stage unless the guys opt to do a formation lap. Wait and see what the call is here. Just bear with us here, guys. Just waiting for the confirmation to go to the next session, which will be race 1 of round 4 here at Imola. So unfortunately, Stubby's got disconnected as well. Oh no, that was 48 minutes ago. Never mind. Should be all good. So I might actually just quickly reiterate the championship scenario at this stage. But never mind. We're going to the grid for the 5-lap sprint race. I'll do so in the downtime in between races, probably when they calculate the points for the reverse grid. So we've got a lot of carnage going on here with the camera. I think we are leaving. Let's see if I've quickly got an invite. Alright, so it's going to be a quali rerun. Just wait for an invite to get into that lobby. Set back up. It's good to see. Shouldn't be too far off. Some more qualifying action to get that redone. And then we'll be into race 1 for the free race event here in Imola. It's a mouthful to say at this stage. See what qualifying. So it'll be a 5-minute qualifying session. So essentially a 1-lap attack. Some of the drivers will get 2 opportunities if they're lucky enough not to be caught up in traffic. So they've got to time their run to perfection. But then again, you don't really want to be the first one out either. You want the track evolution to get to your tyres in time to be able to set in a quick lap time towards the end of the session. So we'll see how the drivers contend with that. It's all clear weather tonight as well. There's no cloud cover, so it's very favourable conditions. So once everyone's in, we shouldn't be too far off getting this thing underway here at round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A Series, Single Make Series. It's bound to be a ripper round. Everything to play for throughout the mid-season. You'll Be Dead is the championship leader by 25 points over his closest rival, Blue XR8. Let's see if any of those key championship contenders can chip into the lead, that early lead that You'll Be Dead has throughout this mid-season. So I might actually have time to quickly reiterate that while we start to load up. So we'll go through the slides here. So here is our championship scenario. As I mentioned before, championship leader is You'll Be Dead. He sees himself on 179 points and 25 points down on 154 points is Blue XR8. Those two guys were in the top 2 in what was more so a practice qualifying session last time around. Then you got Titan in P3 on 143 points, and in P4 we got Eagle Win with 138, and then round out the top 5 we got Someone Awesome on 136. All those guys within half a round of one another, so those are your realistic contenders at this stage. We're still seeing if Ty Morgo, Cheese Noodles, Morningstar, Mike, Hammer, and Kakadu can put themselves into that scenario as well, because those guys still have 4 rounds and counting to be able to chip into that lead of You'll Be Dead. But we're not discounting the guys from 11th to 18th either. Those guys still in with a mathematical chance. But all they got to do is get a big haul of points from now up until the end of the season. So we'll see if they're there or thereabouts in the upcoming rounds. And as for the team's championship, 27-point lead in favour of Titan Snake Oil Racing. So that combination, Eagle Wind and Titan, those guys, both from the top 5 in the championship. And that's why they see themselves in position 1 for the team's championship. Big Brass Balls Racing in P2. That combination, Someone Awesome and Blue XR8, 27 points down on the team championship leaders on 290 points. And then in P3, we've got Back Marker Racing there on 236 points. That driver combination, Nachos and You'll Be Dead. Those guys looking for a big points haul tonight. And we'll go further down as well. Angry Mongos in P4, 219 points, equal with CAC Attack Racing on 219 points as well. So those two teams, 98 points down from the lead of the team's championship. And then Back in Black Racing in P6, those guys got a lot of work to do if they're to put themselves in the mix for the team's championship throughout this mid-stage of the season. We've got Hammer and Tongs in P7, 192, and then Osru Racing in P8. Those guys on 124 points, 193 points behind the team championship lead. So there's a big amount of work to do for those guys there at Osru Racing. So we'll just get that off screen right now. We shouldn't be too far off getting into this 5-minute qualifying session. For now, in between then, I'll shut up and we'll see you in a few moments' time. Right, here we go. 5-minute qualifying one. It's going to be a very busy pit lane in this early stage as everyone tries to play for track position here. They're going to try to position themselves in the right position they feel in this qualifying session to be able to maximise their qualifying lap here at Imola. So first out on track is Black Wildcats. So let's see how these guys working these tyres and brakes on this outlap here. They don't have long to do so, so it's going to be a very quick outlap if they're to be able to rotate 2 rotations around the track. So realistically, 1 lap for a banker lap, and then the second lap for a realistic shot at pole position as we go 3 wide throughout the first sector there. It's very unusual scenes in qualifying, no doubt. Got a car off in the gravel there. And that's the car of Stubby's. So he's going to be looking to warm up those tyres. Try not to stay in dirty air either in this qualifying session, because that also plays a key role in determining how quick you are in this session. So we go further up, Black Wildcats, and one of the backmarker racing cars is in front of him. But you'll be dead. As championship leader in front, so he's leading the drivers around this circuit at Imola. So going up the hill now throughout the mid-sector, around the back straight now. A very good opportunity to warm up these brakes. So we'll see what happens in this stage of qualifying. So everyone trying to play for their own race position here. And track position on track to set their qualifying lap. So they're trying to get a decent gap in front of them and behind them, so they're not hindered whatsoever. So you'll be dead. He'll be the first across control line here at Imola. He was the fastest in that practice qualifying, we would call it, last time around for that 10-minute session. So let's see if he can replicate that 1:56.6. That was pole position for provisional pole last time around. So he's about to start his hot lap now here at Imola. So going down the main straight now, up to the top end speed, heading into turn 1, turn 2. Very deep braking zone. He's going to go back all the way to second gear, deep under brakes. A lot of the inside curb at turn 2 and turn 3. It's a very fast flowing section. He's had a little bit of exit oversteer there on exit of turn 4. But it's a very tricky trail braking section here for the very fast speed. Chicane in the first sector. A lot of extra oversteer once again for You'll Be Dead. It's an all-out attack lap from him. We're not going to be getting a timing reference here out of the first sector. He's looking very unsettled in the rear end there. As you see throughout the hairpin as well, a lot of extra oversteer for You'll Be Dead. He's really trying to hold on to the car in this stage of qualifying. Once again, a lot of extra oversteer. He's really trying to hold on to the rear end, but he's really blazing away ahead in front of the guys that are behind him. You can see him just in the distance now. That was Black Wildcats in the background. A lot of inside curb usage from You'll Be Dead. Unsettled his car, and he had to try search for grip up the hill there. A very good car control to hold on to it. And let's see if he's as aggressive as last time. A lot of aggression throughout the chicane there. It opens it up on corner exit. And that's a very good racing line taken there from You'll Be Dead. It should be on par to challenge that 1:56 in the previous session. See, Eagle Wind has parked it up momentarily. And unfortunately, he won't be able to set a lap around Imola because he won't have enough time to get around on an outlap. So it's unfortunate scenes there for him. A 2:06.4 is his fastest, which was an outlap time from him. So across the line now for You'll Be Dead. He'll have a second attack at it. Let's see what this first reference is for him. A 1:56.8. That's 2 tenths off his fastest in the last qualifying session. So right now, provisional pole for him. Black Wildcats in P2. A 1:59.5 is his quickest. Stubby's in P3 with a 2:02. And then Titan going up in the P3, a 1:59.3 from him. Now, unfortunately, contact between him and Nachos. Those guys are going to have to park it up now. Angry Old Fella up in the P4. Morningstar Mike up in the P3. Blue XR8. You'll be Dead's closest championship rival in P2. 1.5 seconds away from provisional pole here. So we'll hop on board with him for his hot lap here for his second attack. So we're going to get a timing reference in 1 corner's time for Blue XR8. So he's got Ty Morgo on the background there by the looks of it. No, Ty Morgo's parked up, so that is his teammate. So 1.5 temps up for Blue XR8 here at the end of the first sector. So throughout the mid-sector now, there's a lot of time to be gained, no doubt for him. It's very oversteery for that fast left-hander downhill section. It's going to be very difficult to chip into that deficit You'll Be Dead's got at the top for provisional pole. With a lot of curb usage and a very settled car up the hill for Blue XR8. Looked quite fine throughout that section of the track. So You'll Be Dead still holding on to provisional pole with the same lap time that he set the first lap. So we're about to get another timing reference for Blue XR8 on exit of the mid-sector here, downhill braking zone. He's 7.5 temps up on his quickest lap time here. So he's half a second off provisional pole set by You'll Be Dead. In the closing stages of qualifying now, we got 60 seconds to run here. And Blue XR8 coming out of the last sector now. He's invalidated his lap time. He's not going to be able to improve. So angry old fella down the main straight now. And he is the teammate of Ty Morgo here. Is he going to improve here on his second lap in qualifying 1? We'll wait and see in a few moments' time. So across the line, little improvement, but not on the leaderboards. So we're just going to go through the grid here. You'll Be Dead. So he maintains pole position there. Hammer in P2, Blue XR8 rounding out the top 3. Morningstar Mike in P4, and then Angry Old Fella rounding out the top 5. So we're going straight into this 5-lap sprint race here at Imola. And it's going to be the championship leader. You'll Be Dead leading everyone into turn 1. It's a very good qualifying performance from the championship leader. And as for Hammer, a very good qualifying performance from him too. A front row start is quite a fine way to start for round 4 for him in his quest for championship glory. Blue XR8 second in the championship, P3 in qualifying. So a pretty good start for him would be required to jump You'll Be Dead, head into the first and second corner. Morningstar Mike will see himself round out the second row of the grid in P4. Very good qualifying performance for Angry Old Fella. P11 in the championship, so he's got to get a big haul of points if he's to put himself into the top 10 tonight. Then we got Titan in the top 5 in the championship, and he's driving for the team that is leading the team's championship. So big weight on his shoulders tonight to keep his driver championship standing hopes alive and his team championship standing hopes alive. Black Wildcats in P7 in row 4. And we got Ty Morgo alongside him. We got Stubbies in P9 and Someone Awesome rounding out the top 10. He's P5 in the championship. So he's got a lot of work to do in race 1 of the free race event here for round 4. So we're about to go green here at Imola. It's going to be You'll Be Dead leading everyone into turn 1. Let's see if he can get it off the line here. He's got the inside line heading into turn 1. We go green for race 1, round 4 at Imola. So very good start from the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. Hammer is stuck on the outside lane. That's going to be Angry trying to slot it down the inside. And it seems as though Blue XR8 is going to be relegated back just a little bit. No, he's held on the P2. And Hammer's been forced out wide there into the sand trap. So massive scenes at turn 2 for Hammer. He's lost a whole lot of ground here from his front row start. He's got a lot of work to do. He's all the way back in P13 now. So after the first couple corners, it's You'll Be Dead with 8-10th lead over Blue XR8 in P2. And then it's Angry Old Fella in P3. Morningstar Mike in P4. Titan rounding out the top 5. Then we've got Ty Morgo in P6. Black Wildcats in P7. Someone Awesome is up a couple positions in P8. We've got Nachos in P9. Eaglewind in P10. And then we've got Exo in P11. Stubbies in P12. He's lost a few positions on this opening lap. And then Hammer, he's lost 12 positions here at Imola on the opening lap. He sees himself in last in P13. We got a car off to the inside there. Completely screwed up is Exo. Exo's completely stuffed it up in the downhill section in the mid-sector. He's lucky to have not sustained too much damage there, but is really unsettled his momentum as he tries to go uphill there. I reckon he's heated up his tyres a bit too much. He's going to have to cool them down if he's to keep the grip to the track. But it's You'll Be Dead with a 2.6 second lead. That's very unusual. And we're not even past the opening lap yet. So Blue XR8 must have made a mistake at the chicane, because he sees himself 3 seconds down from the lead of this one. Morningstar Mike is up one now. Angry has been relegated back because he's had a little bit of a moment throughout the last sector there. He has to let everyone pass. He's got to re-enter the track. And he's done so very well there. But he's been relegated all the way back from P3 to P9. So he's lost 6 positions throughout the last sector there. He's under pressure from Stubbies in P10. You got Nachos in the background there in P11. So it's going to be all-out attack in this first sprint race of round 4 here at Imola. So Ty Morgo is going to hold on the P6. Someone awesome. He's up a few more spots up in the P5 now. So he started P10. He's already up 6 spots here in this opening race for round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A Series. You'll Be Dead with quite a hefty lead at the top. 2.3 seconds in hand over Blue XR8, his closest rival in the championship. Morningstar Mike, he's looking to produce a fine result in this first sprint race. Currently holding on to P3. Black Wildcats, very good performance from him so far. P4, currently on track. His closest rival, Someone Awesome, behind him in P5. Ty Morgan on P6. Titan back 1 position in P7. Hammer in P8. So he's gaining a lot of ground back from the opening lap disaster that saw himself into the sand trap at turn 2. We've got Stubbies up in the P9 now. Nachos in P10. Eaglewind in P11. Angry losing a lot of ground in P12. And then Exo with a moment, 1 lap ago, trying to regain the ground that he lost in P13. So he's 29 seconds away from the lead of this one. So he's just going to have to settle for a decent haul of points in this first sprint race here at Imola. We're currently on lap 2 of lap 5. We're about to enter lap 3 here at Imola. The championship leader, You'll Be Dead, cross the control line now to enter lap 3 of 5 here. You got Blue XR8 in the background there, 3.8 seconds behind the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. It's quite a hefty gap for You'll Be Dead. Morningstar Mike in P3, a further 3 seconds back from Blue XR8 in P2. Black Wildcats holding off Someone Awesome in P4 there. P5 to Someone Awesome. P6 Hammer. He's under severe amounts of pressure from Ty Morgo behind. And then Titan is behind him in P8. So this is the battle to watch now. Hammer's got a very awful exit here. Ty Morgo right behind the rear bumper of Hammer in P6. He might be able to challenge to make a move on this lap here on lap 3. Wait and see as they exit the first sector here. A little bit of exit oversteer for Ty Morgo in the background. That's sitting back just a little bit. Now Ty Morgo is under pressure from Titan behind. So these guys, this is the battle for P6. It's all to play for here. So these guys trying to chip into the lead of the championship in favour of You'll Be Dead. But You'll Be Dead is leading this one. And he's been granted the ability to further extend his points haul, assuming everything remains the same here at Imola. So Hammer further extending that gap out in comparison to Ty Morgo. Someone Awesome trying to catch up to the rear bumper of Black Wildcats in P4. So we could quite possibly have a 5-car battle for P4. A lot of curb usage for Black Wildcats. And You'll Be Dead with a 3.4 second lead over Blue XR8. There's blistering pace set by You'll Be Dead in this first race here at Imola for round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A Series. So we're about to enter the penultimate lap here at Imola. And You'll Be Dead with quite a hefty lead, 3.6 seconds in hand over Blue XR8. What has Blue XR8 got in response in these closing 2 laps? He's got to gain 1.5 seconds each time around. And he's lost the rear end. Blue XR8, championship contender, out at turn 3. Morningstar Mike surely going to get past him. And he does so. Blue X08, he should be able to maintain P3 here as Black Wildcats enters turn 3 right now. So Blue X08 got a 2-second lead over Black Wildcats, who gets a little bit of oversteer in the background there. And then someone awesome also in P5 under pressure from Hammer in P6. We go further back, Ty Morgo in P7 under pressure from Titan in P8. We got Stubbies in P9. We got Nachos rounding out the top 10. Eagle Win battling it out with Angry Oldfella. These guys are bumper to bumper as Angry tries to send it down the inside. And those two make contact as Eagle Win loses the rear end. And I reckon he's going to readdress that. So we'll wait and see what happens here. So Angry's going to hold on to P11. No, so Angry's opted to readdress that one. So he feels like he's made the mistake there. So you'll be dead. 4.5 second lead over Morningstar Mike now. So Morningstar Mike has been favoured. Second position here, but he's almost under pressure from Blue XR8, who a moment ago stuffed up on entry to turn 2 and turn 3. So he might be able to challenge for second position here on the closing lap if he's able to make ground under brakes in the downhill braking zone here in the last sector. Morningstar Mike, all he has to do is set up a clean lap on the closing lap here at Imola, and he should be able to hold on. Blue XR8 right behind the rear bumper now as we enter the closing lap of this one. Lights on for Blue XR8. So it's all out attack on this closing lap for him. So we're going to go on board cockpit view. So we can see Morningstar Mike just up ahead. He's the little dot in the background there. So deep under brakes, heading in the turn 2, turn 3 for Blue XR8. A lot of curve usage for him. A little bit of extra oversteer. You saw the correction on the steering wheel there. So Blue XR8 seems to be struggling in the rear end after heating up his tyres in the previous lap. You can see in this fast chicane section, he's really trying to hold on to it. But that's because he's trying to gain as much ground as possible. Gaining ground under brake here at the hairpin section on the exit of the first sector for Blue XR8. There's no one in the background, so Black Wildcats, no, that's Hammer. So Black Wildcats been relegated back to P5 now. A wonderful recovery drive from Hammer. So he's come from last on the grid on lap 1 all the way up in the P4. So good recovery drive here on the closing lap for him. But we still got the battle here for P2 between Morningstar Mike and Hammer. As we're set up into the mid-sector now, Blue XR8 goes out wide on the uphill section, entering the back straight now, heading into the chicane here. I don't think he's going to have enough corners to be able to catch up to Morningstar Mike. Morningstar Mike goes out wide there. He shouldn't be handed a slowdown penalty for that though. He should be fine with that. So we'll go trackside view. I don't think Blue XR8 is going to get it done. So Morningstar Mike should be able to hold on for P2, assuming he keeps it clean out of this last sector. Right behind the rear bumper now as he goes out wide a little bit. He should be able to hold on. No, he's lost the rear end. Is Blue XR8 going to get the exit he wants here? He does. He goes up in the P2. So commentators curse here for Morningstar Mike. I deeply apologise for that. So Blue XR8 out of nowhere going to finish in P2 after stuffing up on the previous lap. P3 Morningstar Mike. And then Hammer, very good recovery drive from the opening lap in P4. Very good performance there from Black Wildcats in P5. Someone awesome will round out the top 6. Titan in P7. Nachos has moved up into the top 8. Very good performance from him there. We've got Ty Morgo in P9. Stubbies rounding out the top 10. Coming out of the last couple of corners now. Angry in P11. But he's looking to be relegated back to P12 as Igwe moves up in the P11 now. After the penultimate corner there, we got a car off in the background there of Exo. So lucky to hold on to it there, but he's going to have to settle for P13. But the championship leader further extending his points advantage at the top of the leaderboards. And he should be able to make inroads in the team's championship as well for Backmarker Racing. So very good performance there from the championship leader. We've got 2 more races to come. Another qualifying session to come first. That will set the grid for race 2, which will be another 5-lap sprint race. And then race 3 will be a 12-lap sprint race, which will be reverse grid, combined race 1, race 2 results. So those are your unofficial results right there. You'll Be Dead coming out with the win here. Blue XR8 rounding out second position, then Morningstar Mike in P3. Hammer in P4, Black Wildcats rounding out the top 5. Someone Awesome in P6, Titan in P7. We got Nachos, Time Wargo, Stubbies rounding out the top 10 there. We go further down, we got EXO. So a couple of time penalties been handed out. Eagle win with a 20-second time penalty. That's very harsh, and a 21-second time penalty to Angry Old Fella. So those two relegated back one position each. Those two guys will finish P12 and P13. So they're going to have to look forward to the next race, which is to come very shortly here. So for the meantime, I'll shut up until the next qualifying session starts up here at Imola, which will set the grid for race 2 for Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A single manufacturer series here. We're about to enter qualifying 2 here for round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A single manufacturer series here. This is qualifying 2. We'll set the grid for race 2. So it'll be a 10-minute qualifying session here at Imola. So let's see who's the first to jump. Championship leader, You'll Be Dead, exiting pit lane now. No doubt everyone else is going to follow. Stubby's coming out of pit lane as well. Go further back. We got Todd Morgo. You'll Be Dead there. EXO still parked up. Blue XR8 still parked up as well. Nachos is the first to exit pit lane now. So we'll just wait for everyone to rotate around the track, and then we'll be right back into the commentary here. Right, here we go. These guys are setting their respective hot laps now. We're currently on board with Nachos. He's got a lot of pressure from behind, so he's going to be able to keep the car ahead if he's to record a very fast lap time here. And I think that car was off in the background just a little bit. So Nachos has got a little bit of an advantage in hand here. As we go through the first sector now, you can see his teammate, You'll Be Dead in the background. And either Ty Morgo or Angry Old Fella as well. A lot of extra oversteer for Nachos. That could have hindered a little bit of time in this first sector. There's a little bit of contact between those two. So for Nachos, he's just got to hold on to it here. Try and get a very good lap time to put him right in the mid-pack there. So I think, who is the car behind? Let's quickly scroll through the drivers here. So that's Stubby's right in behind Nachos. He's trying to look for an opportunity to get past Nachos here. Looks to be hindered on this hot lap. But considering Nachos is on a hot lap, he does not have to give way to Stubby's here. So Stubby's is just going to send it down the inside, heading into the chicane. There's going to be a lot of curb. Does he get it pulled up? He only just gets it pulled up, but he might get a slowdown penalty for that. A little bit of a curb hop on the second turn of the chicane. So we're going into the downhill braking zone now. Very technical, very difficult to get the car pulled up here. Misses the inside apex just a little bit, Stubbies. But we're going to get an indication of what the lap times are looking like in a few moments' time here. We got less than 6 minutes to play in this qualifying session now. So across the line for Stubbies. What's this going to be for him? It's going to be a 2 minute 1.1, 2 minute 2.5 for Nachos. And then You'll Be Dead with a 2 minute 0.9. So not comparable to his previous pole position here yet. So we're just waiting for him to get up to speed here. The championship leader. We got Morningstar Mike on provisional pole now. 157.4. Very good opening lap there for him. A very good bunker lap. And he fully sent it heading into turn 2, turn 3. He slotted right in behind the championship leader of You'll Be Dead. So he gets a very good indication of where he can gain time here. And currently Hammer has pipped Morningstar Mike a provisional pole by less than 1/10 of a second. A 151.3 is Hammer's quickest here. So top 3, Hammer, Morningstar Mike, and You'll Be Dead in the mid stage of this qualifying session now. Morningstar Mike is 2 tenths up on his quickest. So he's looking to pip Hammer on provisional pole now. Blue XO8 goes up in the P3. A 158.2 is his quickest. 8 tenths down on provisional pole now. You'll Be Dead relegated back to P4. Someone awesome rounding out the top 5 with a 2 minute 1 flat. Angry Old Fella in P6. Stubbies in P7. Nachos in P8. Exo in P9. And then the rest of the drivers from Eaglewind all the way to Ty Morgo. Yet to set a lap time here at Imola for qualifying 2. So Morningstar Mike gets past the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. A lot of curb usage there from Morningstar Mike. It sets him out the slightest bit wide on corner exit. We'll wait and see if that gives him a slowdown penalty. But he has lost a lot of time in the mid-sector. He's lost 4/10 of a second. Let's see if he can gain it back. He's got to be able to gain 3/10 of a second if he's to put himself into provisional pole here for qualifying 2. That will set the grid for race 2 for the 5-lap sprint race here. So down the main straight now. You'll Be Dead going the quickest with a 155.7. So he's pipped the whole field by 1.6 seconds here at Imola. Has anyone got anything in response to that? Let's see what Hammer gets across the line here. So across the line for Hammer, he's 1.6 seconds off the pace of You'll Be Dead. He's going quicker, but he's only gone 4/10 of a second quicker here. You'll Be Dead has parked it up because I'm pretty sure that's almost the quickest lap of the round. Blue X8, what has he got in response? Coming out the last couple of corners now. He is second in the championship. He's got to be able to get provisional pole here if he's to put a decent charge here to be able to chip in to the lead in favour of You'll Be Dead in the Drivers' Championship. It's only good enough for P3 there. He improves by almost 1 second there. So that's relegated Morningstar Mike back to P4. We'll stay on board with Angry Old Fella here. Currently sitting P5 out of the first sector now. He was up on his fastest lap. So let's see how he gets it pulled up through the mid-sector. A lot of mid-corner oversteer there. He's barely held on to it. Very good car control though. Very technical downhill section into the uphill section here. Back in the second gear. Just under 100 kilometers an hour mid-corner speed. As we go down the back straight now. Heading into the chicane. Let's see how aggressive Angry Old Fella can attack it now. A lot of inside curb usage. He almost loses the rear end on exit. Let's see if that's hindered his lap time whatsoever, as we're about to get an indication of if he's up. So he's up by 8/10 of a second now. So provisionally 2 seconds off provisional pole now. And he's lost the rear end in the last couple of corners here, Angry Old Fella. He's drifting around here. And he's invalidated his lap time by the looks of it. So Titan has moved up in the P5 now. A 1:58.4 is his quickest. We'll quickly see if Angry Old Fella goes quicker here. I'm not sure if that's an invalidated lap time a few moments ago, and it is on this time around. So someone awesome out of the last corner now. What's this going to be for him? It's a very long main straight here at Imola, even though it's got a little bit of a kink at the end there. Ty Morgo currently in the first sector. We're going to get a sector split up on screen now. So he's currently sitting P9. Black Wildcats goes up in the P6. A 1:58.8 puts him up there. So slightly up is Ty Morgo in the first sector. Nachos is currently sitting P10. What's this going to be for a sector split? It's not going to be any quicker in the first sector. He's only down by a tiny bit. Stubby's currently sitting P11. Across the control line now. What's this going to be for him? It's good enough for P10. A 1:59.7 is his quickest. We'll go on board with Morningstar Mike. Currently in the mid-sector now. In the uphill section. Down the back straight we go. Heading into the braking zone of the slow chicane here at Imola. So getting up just to 180 kilometers an hour. A lot of curb usage there from Morningstar Mike. But he's hindered his exit there. So very technical downhill braking zone here for Morningstar Mike. A lot of inside curb usage. Keeps the car on track. Holds on to it. Very good car control from him. So currently, whoever's on a hot lap now, it will be the last opportunity to do so. Eagle Wind has invalidated his lap time out of the last couple of corners now. So he is parked up, done and dusted for this qualifying session. Morningstar Mike, it's only good enough to stay P4 for the very moment. Angry Old Fella across the line now. What's it going to be for him? We've got a car off in the background there. I think that's the car of Nachos. So Angry is... Oh, he's moved up in the P5, so good lap there to start on the third row. Black Wildcats has taken a detour into one of the walls here in the mid-sector. Ty Morgo is only good enough for P8, P9 for someone awesome. Stubbies at the last couple of corners now. Let's see if this is good enough to improve him on the leaderboards. He's the only driver that can improve on track now for qualifying 2. This is going to set the grid for race 2 here. For round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A series here. Across the line now for him. It's going to move him up into P7. So very good lap in the dying stages there. So there are your official qualifying results. And once again, it's going to be the championship leader taking pole position for race 2 of the 3-lap race here for round 4. Free race event here. We've got Hammer in P2, Blue XR8 round at the top 3. We've got Morningstar Mike in P4. And Angry Old Fella, good qualified performance in P5. Titan in P6, Stubbies in P7 in the dying stages. Black Wildcats in P8, Ty Morgo P9. Someone awesome rounding out the top 10 here. We go further down, Nachos in P11, Exo in P12. And then Eagle Wind in P13. Just going to go get a quick drink before race 2 starts here. For Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A series. This is bear with me here. Just going to go get a quick drink. Here we go. Once again, not an unfamiliar view. You'll be dead, leading everyone into turn 1 alongside him for the second race in a row. Hammer, very good qualifying performance for another front row start. Then we got Blue XR8 once again in third position there in qualifying. Then Morningstar Mike. The front 2 rows are the same as the last race. Let's see if the fortunes change around this time around in race 2. We got Angry Old Fella in P5. Rounding out the third row is Titan in P6. Stubbies in P7. Black Wildcats rounding out the fourth row in P8. Ty Morgo and Someone Awesome will share row 5. Then we had Nachos and Exo sharing row 6. And then on the back row, we'll have Eagle Wind, who was unfortunately not able to get in a hot lap as he invalidated his hot lap time. And he will start this race from the back of the grid. So that is your 13 car field here for race 2 of round 4 here for Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A series here. We're racing at Imola for race 2. 5-lap sprint race here. The engines are about to rev now. We're about to go green here for race 2 of round 4. And we go green. Let's see who's got a good start. Bogged down start from You'll Be Dead. Hammer should be able to move up in the P1 on the outside if he can hold it. We've got to quickly get to the top here. So 3 wide, we're going in the turn 1. And out of the second corner, it's going to be Hammer coming out with the lead. Blue XR8 challenging You'll Be Dead for P2. But You'll Be Dead will be able to hold on for the moment here. So You'll Be Dead been relegated back 1 position as Blue XR8 tries to send it down the inside here. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. Right behind the rear bumper now of You'll Be Dead is Angry Old Fella. Then you got Morningstar Mike in the background there lurking. We got Stubbies in P6. He's got Titan shoving it down the inside there as Stubbies goes out wide at the end of the first sector here. He's got company from Ty Morgo in P8. And the Black Wildcats is in P9 behind Ty Morgo. And then Someone Awesome round out the top 10. We've got Eagle Wind up a couple positions into P11. Exo in P12. And then Nacho right behind him in P13. We'll go back to the front of the grid, where is a 1.5 second lead in favour of Hammer over Blue XR8. You'll Be Dead has been relegated back to P3 as we got Angry Old Fella going out wide in the background. He's under pressure from Morningstar Mike in P5 as we go down the back straight now. Side by side, those two go. Morningstar Mike gets him on the inside, the outside line. It's a very good move made there as Angry Old Fella goes out wide. And I think Morningstar Mike has just held off a little bit there. I reckon there might be a little bit of a redress. Unless Morningstar Mike has curb topped the chicane there. That'll be the only reason why he's slowed down the followers. Angry Old Fella has hindered himself on exit there throughout the last sector. He's under pressure now from Titan as he experiences a lot of extra oversteer in the few last couple of corners here on the opening lap. He's still got the pressure from Titan behind. And then behind Titan is Stubbies in P7. Ty Morgo is battling it out for P8. He's trying to hold on to it in favour of over Black Wildcats in P9. So these guys going to go single file heading into turn 2 here. So Hammer has got half a second lead over Blue XR8. So it's a 3-car race here at the front between our 3 top championship contenders. So Hammer, a very minute lead here on the second lap. He finished P4 in race 1. He's looking to go 3 positions higher this time around as Blue XR8 goes out the slightest bit wide at the hairpin on the exit of the first sector. Lights on for Hammer. Blue XO8 lost a little bit of time after that. Exit oversteer and going out wide as well. So he's under pressure from You'll Be Dead. That's the battle for P2. So for the meantime, Hammer has had the pressure relieved here at Imola for race 2 of round 4. So we'll actually go on board cockpit view here for Blue XO8 as he tries to track down Hammer in P1. A lot of curb usage from these guys. Now looks very fluent too. He's gained a lot of ground on exit. Blue XO8, he might be able to make a little bit of a lunge in a few moments time. Maybe turn 2 could be an opportunity on lap 3 here at Imola. Wait and see what plays out as Hammer experiences exit oversteer on the penultimate corner here at Imola. But he's still got a slight advantage over Blue XO8, but less than 4 tenths of a second as we go down the main straight. About to enter lap 3 here of 5 for race 2 of round 4. Heading into turn 1 now. Blue XO8 got to gain ground on the brakes here. He does so. A lot of ground made. Right on the rear bumper now. Less than 3 tenths of a second down. But he had a lot of wheel spin on exit of turn 3. So that means Hammer is able to extend that gap by 6 tenths of a second. Let's see where You'll Be Dead is playing himself into this picture. He's right on the rear bumper of Blue XO8. Blue XO8 really feeling the pressure from the championship leader in race 2. He's barely trying to hold off for position 2 here for race 2. If he's able to hold on, he's able to chip into that championship lead held by You'll Be Dead at the top of the championship standings. So if he's able to hold on here, he's able to gain ground on You'll Be Dead in race 2. So half a second lead in favour of Hammer over Blue XO8. And then Blue XO8 has got 4 tenths of a second lead over You'll Be Dead in P3. And it looks like Hammer has made a little bit of a mistake throughout this mid-sector. Blue XO8 trying to take a look down the inside, but he's a little bit too far back. Heading into the chicane here. Right on the rear bumper now. We go bumper to bumper between these 3 guys. And it seems as though the championship leader going out the slightest bit wide on the exit of the chicane there. So he's sort of played himself out of the race here for the moment. So downhill braking zone. Very easy to stuff it up. But Hammer gets it pulled up as well as Blue XO8. So those guys follow each other's movement there. So we're about to enter the penultimate lap here at Imola for race 2 of round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A series. We've got a 3-car race for the lead of this one. So we'll go further back. Morningstar Mike looking quite comfortable in P4 there. We've got Angry Old Fella under pressure from Titan in P5. Titan is currently sitting P6. We've got Nachos in P7. Good performance from him so far. He's under pressure from Eaglewind. Eaglewind has started from last on the grid. He's up in the P8. So he's moved up 5 positions here for race 2. Very good performance so far. Someone Awesome currently sitting P9. Black Wildcats rounding out the top 10. We go further back. EXO in P11. Tom Morgo in P12. And then we've got Stubbies touring pit lane in P13 there. But we'll go back to the front. That's where our focus is because Hammer has got a slight advantage over Blue XO8 in P2. Less than 4 tenths of a second is the lead in favour of Hammer over Blue XO8. You'll Be Dead a further 3 tenths of a second back from Blue XO8 ahead of him. So we're going into the mid-sector now for the 4th time here at Imola for race 2. So going down the back straight now, heading into the slow chicane here. So we got less than 1.5 laps to go now. Less than 1.5 laps for Hammer to hold on. He's got the lights on. And Blue XO8 is a further half a second back from Hammer. We're going to further half a second back for You'll Be Dead, the championship leader. All he has to do is keep himself in the mix here because if the front 2 guys make contact, he'll be able to put himself up into the top spot now. Not like we want any of that to happen. But Hammer's got a lot of extra oversteer out of the penultimate corner. They're going to go side by side down the main straight. Blue X8 is going to move up in the P1 now. It's a very costly mistake from Hammer on the penultimate corner there. And it looks like You'll Be Dead is going to send it down the inside, heading in the turn 2. As Hammer's out in the grass, he's completely stuffed it up. What's this going to happen? Oh. Completely stuffed up my words there because I thought You'll Be Dead was going to make contact with Hammer. But very good situational awareness there from You'll Be Dead to assess the situation within a click of a finger. But it looks like Blue XR8 is going to come home with a comfortable victory in P1. 1 second is the gap for him in comparison to You'll Be Dead, the championship leader. But it's a very costly mistake for Hammer because in the penultimate corner, he's lost 2 positions in a matter of 2 corners. So very costly for him. Morningstar Mike still in P4. Titan trying to hold off Angry Old Fella. So Titan's in P5. And then we got Angry Old Fella in P6. So we'll stay on board with Titan for the moment here. So heading down into the mid-sector now. Still a slight advantage in favour of Titan in P5 over Angry in P6. And Blue XR8, he's only got 0.2 of a second lead here over the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. So it's going to be an all-out battle to the end. We'll quickly hop on board with Blue XR8 into the downhill braking zone in the last sector now. Last opportunity for You'll Be Dead to make the move. Blue XR8's completely stuffed it. He's rotated it here. You'll Be Dead gifted with the win here at Imola for race 2. Morningstar Mike, he might be able to move up in the P2 if Blue XR8 isn't on the power early enough here. Down the main straight now, a very costly mistake for one of our championship contenders for Blue XR8. I'm speechless now. Blue XR8 had it in the bag, assuming he kept it on the track. And he's only going to come out second best once again in comparison to his closest rival, and You'll Be Dead. Hammer in the top 4, Titan 5th, Angry Old Fella 6th, Someone Awesome in P7 across the line. We've got Nachos, very good performance from him crossing the line in P8. Black Wildcats in P9, EXO coming out the last couple of corners in P10. We've got Eagle Wind in P11, Time Morgo in P12, and then Stubbies in P13 there. So he'll be the last driver to cross control line here at Imola for race 2. So the guys will try to get a quick turnaround for the reverse grid combined race 1, race 2 results. So no doubt You'll Be Dead will be starting from last on the grid in race 3, and then Blue XR8 will be sitting second last. So those 2 key championship contenders got a lot of work to do in the 12-lap sprint race for race 3. Here for Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A Series. So it'll be Titan Morgo who will cross the line in a few moments' time. He's the last car out on track now. So he's carrying a wounded Mercedes here. So that is the end of race 2. Pardon me. Got the hiccups here. So You'll Be Dead once again, the championship leader with another unlikely win. Blue XR8 in P2. And then Morningstar Mike round out the top 3. Hammer also had the race win in the bag on the penultimate lap, but he completely binned it on the penultimate corner, and that's why we see him in P4. Titan round out the top 5. Angry in P6. Someone Awesome in P7. Nachos in P8. Black Wildcats in P9. And then EXO round out the top 10 there. And we got Eagle in P11. Time Morgo in P12. And then Stubbies in P13. So we're just waiting for the guys to get the calculation stuff done for the reverse grid combined race 1 race 2 result, so we shouldn't be too far off that. So for now, in between then, we'll be back in a few moments' time. So I'll shut up for now in between then. Guys to organise themselves with the reverse grid combined race one, race two results now, so we shouldn't be too far off, as the settings have been changed to suit race-free conditions there. So we should only be a few minutes away now. about to start up race 3 of round 4 for Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A single manufacturer series here. We're at Imola for round 4, and it's live and free on Metamon Racing Community. Its first lap around will be a formation lap to set the reverse grid of combined race 1, race 2 results. So Morningstar Mike is going to have to go a little bit further back than where he is right now. Unfortunately for him. Yeah. So we'll just quickly go for the grid here. So we've got Eagle Wind, Hammer, Titan, Exo, Angry. We've got Time Morgo, Blue XR8, Someone Awesome, Nachos, You'll Be Dead, Stubbies, and then Black Wildcats. So it's your 13 car grid as it stands right now. So going to change quite a lot on this opening formation lap here. Alright, here we go. We're about to enter the formation lap here. So disregard those lights there. So everyone will be forming up to their positions now. There'll be a lot of instruction going on over the headset channel for the guys to form up into their positions. So I'm just trying to get a gauge on who actually has pole position here. So it looks like Eagle Wind will have pole position for this one. Not sure if it's all set in stone yet, but currently Stubby's in P2, Exo in P3, Time Morgo in P4. We got Angry Old Fella in P5, which is a bit unusual. We got Nachos in P6, Black Wildcats in P7. We got Someone Awesome in P8, Titan in P9, Morningstar Mike in P10. We got Hammer, Blue XR8, and You'll Be Dead, rounding out positions 11th to 13th there. So we go back to the front. So it will be Stubbies on pole position. We got Eagle Wind, then Exo. So that will be your top 3. So Stubbies will have the field leading into turn 1. So we'll just wait until they finish this formation lap. And then we'll get straight into the calling here for race 3 of round 4 for Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A Series. We find ourselves at Imola tonight for round 4. So it'll be up to Stubbies when he drifts away from the field. And by the looks of it, we're about to get up the speed here. So holding 85 kilometres an hour mid-corner through the penultimate corner here. So I think we're all accelerating across the line. No, we're not. Oh, here we go. We're accelerating now. No. Just building it up just a little bit too much. Oh, here we go. Now we're accelerating across the line now. Stubbies gets a good jump on Eagle Wind. Heading into turn 1. Exo will follow right in behind Eagle Wind heading into turn 1. We've got Ty Morgan on P4, Angry Old Fella rounding out the top 5 here. So the two teammates in the red cars are going to be helping each other out here, no doubt. We've got Nachos in P6, Black Wildcats in P7, Titan in P8. We've got Morningstar Mike up a couple now, he's in P9. Someone Awesome in P10. We've got Hammer still in P11. We've got the 3-car battle back here between the top 3 contenders, as Hammer gets down the inside of Someone Awesome. So Someone Awesome losing a lot of ground in the early stages here. See Exo off in the background, so a massive mistake made by Exo in the first sector of the opening lap. And Stubbies as well, so he follows station there with Exo. So very unfortunate scenes for those two earlier on. So that means You'll Be Dead will go up in the P11. Someone rounding out the top 10. Blue X-Ray in P9. Hammer in P8. So those guys battling it out for the back end positions of the top 10. But currently it's Eagle Wind with almost a 1 second lead over Ty Morgan on P2. So Angry Old Fella is following along behind his teammate in P3. We've got Nachos in P4. Black Wildcats rounding out the top 5. Titans up into P6 there. We've got a car off in the background there. Now what's happened? Morningstar Mike is off. Morningstar Mike is off into the wall. It's a massive mistake made there by Morningstar Mike. Hammer's up in the P7. Blue X-Ray in P8. Someone Awesome in P9. And You'll Be Dead, the championship leader, rounds out the top 10 here on the opening lap of race 3. So we're going to go back to the front where Ty Morgo holds less than half a second lead now over Eagle Wind. So Eagle Wind has lost out on a couple of corners ago. But it's going to be all-out attack heading into turn 1, turn 2 here at Imola as Angry Old Fella tries to send it down the inside of Eagle Wind. Heading into turn 2, he gets the move done. But he had tore the inside curb there. And it looks like he's been copped with a slowdown penalty because he's had to back out of it and give Eagle Wind back to position. We've got Nachos trying to make a move on Angry Old Fella in P3. He's not able to close in enough under brakes. We've got Black Wildcats right behind the rear bumper of Nachos, and he's lost it. He's lost it into the inside wall there. Lucky not to hit the wall, but he's going to lose a whole heap of time here on the second lap of race 3. Just going to have to let everyone past here and do a really safe rejoin. So Ty Morgo extending that lead out to 1.6 seconds over Eagle Wind in P2. So that lead really starting to extend out to quite a hefty margin. We've got Angry Old Fella under pressure from Nachos in P4. You can see Angry Old Fella really feeling the pressure now as he's making a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes here. So heading into the back straight on entry to the slow chicane. It looks as though Eagle Wind's been a little bit unsettled through the mid corner there, as Angry had to make evasive action under brakes. And I think Nachos is under pressure from Titan now. So Titan's going to move up in the P4 because Nachos had a little bit of a moment over the curb at the chicane. So an easy move made by Titan. We've got Hammer in P6. He's currently holding off Blue XR8 in P7. And then you got You'll Be Dead, the championship leader, in the background there. So he's not right on the rear bumper of Blue XR8. We've got a car off in the background there. That's the car of Stubby, so he's off into the inside wall on the penultimate corner. He's got a lot of damage on the front end of his car. He's just going to have to carry that damage home here. Looks like he's coming in the pit lane for repairs. There is no mandatory pit stop in this race. So currently Ty Morgo holds a 2.7 second lead over Egwin. You can just see him in the background as Nachos completely rolls over his car. And that's a race done and dusted for him. We got more carnage playing on in the background there. Championship contender Blue XR8 is in the wars as well. He has lost his rear wing. He's going to have to limp back to pit lane, because that is going to be very uncomfortable to drive throughout the closing 9 laps of this one. So Ty Morgo holds a 3.3 second lead over Eaglewind. Now Eaglewind is under pressure from Angry Old Fella and Titan in Pete, positions 3 and 4. So right on the rear bumper of Eaglewind is Angry Old Fella. He's looking to make a move down the back straight on entry to the slow chicane here. He's going to try and make it under brakes. He only just shows the nose there. So he's trying to assess his options here, Angry Old Fella on Eaglewind. So he might actually go cockpit view to see if he can pull it off. Heading on into the downhill braking zone. By the looks of it, not close enough to do so. Now Eaglewind's made a little bit of a mistake there. Angry Old Fella had to check up a little bit. A little bit tail end there. Tail happy for Eaglewind. You can see Titan in the background in the rear view mirror of Angry Old Fella trying to make a move on him. So we'll go back on board with Titan. There's a lot of swerving down the main straight now as they try to fight for track position here, these two. Deep under brakes now. No one's making a move heading into turn 2 or turn 3. So they're all going to hold station here. A little bit unsettled off the curb there as Eaglewind gets it completely screwed up. And he's going to have to give position to Angry Old Fella. So Angry Old Fella is up in the P2 now. A little bit of a rear brake. Oh, God. A little bit of a rear brake lock from Eaglewind. He's been relegated back to P6. And someone awesome, he's carrying a little bit of damage in P7 there. So Ty Morgo with a 4.5 second lead at the top. He's currently sitting position 6 in the championship. So in this last race, he's going to come home with a big haul of points for provisionally. That's very good for his quest for a driver's title here at Go2Whoa. Currently, the championship leader is all the way back in P5. So a very good opportunity to gain that points advantage on the championship leader. Ty Morgo finds himself about 50 points down from the lead. So this is going to make a huge difference in his quest for championship glory here. We've got Angry Old Fella, his teammate, in P2. We've got Titan in P3. Then we've got Hammer in P4. Very good performance from him so far. And then there's the championship leader, You'll Be Dead, in P5. Right behind the rear bumper of Hammer now. So it's going to be a 4-car race for P2. You can see the 3-car train as they go bumper to bumper from Titan to You'll Be Dead. So I reckon Hammer might be able to make a move heading into turn 2 here. As he tries to look for an overlap on Titan, he gets it. And he's going to move up in the P3 Hammer before turn 2 even happens. So You'll Be Dead is the next car in line to overtake Titan here. So we're currently on lap 6 of lap 12. Now where's someone awesome in this mix? So he's currently a little bit too far back to even challenge for a podium position here. So he's holding off a charging Morningstar Mike in the background. Then you can see Eaglewind all the way back in P8 after having second position taken off him. We've got EXO on P9 and then Black Wildcats rounding out the top 10. Go further back, we've got Nachos in P11. We saw him roll over a few laps ago, so it looks like he's coming for repairs there. And then we got Blue XR8 in P12. He also had a little bit of damage a couple laps ago that obviously he's come into repair because he didn't have a rear wing 2 laps ago. And we've got Stubbies in P13 there, so he's got a lot of work to do and a lot of damage on the front bonnet as well. See a little bit of a bend there. So we'll go further up where Ty Morgo has a 3.6 second lead over his teammates. So his teammates chipped into that lead just a little bit on this last lap. So Angry Old Fella in P2, Hammer in P3, Championship leader You'll Be Dead in P4, and then Titan rounding out the top 5. So we'll go on board with the Championship leader You'll Be Dead. He'll take you for a lap around this very technical, fast average, high speed average circuit here at Imola. So you can see him trying to track down the 2 guys in front of him here, an Angry Old Fella and Hammer. Those guys going line astern of one another on lap 7 of 12 in a few moments' time. So for now, until the start of lap 8, I'll shut up and enjoy a lap on board with the Championship leader. Hope you enjoyed that on-board lap. The Championship leader on lap 7. There was a lot of action in the first sector there. Unfortunately for You'll Be Dead, he wasn't able to capitalise on that mistake made by Angry Old Fella. But now we're on board with Hammer, who's currently under pressure from Angry Old Fella. And Angry Old Fella moves up in the P2 now. So very easy move made as the Championship leader goes down the inside of Hammer. And that's going to be another position loss to Hammer now. So the pressure has gotten to Hammer just as of recently. And Titan a little bit further back in P5. He's almost got Morningstar Mike for company behind him. He's a couple seconds back from him in P6. We've got Someone Awesome in P7 carrying a wounded Mercedes there. And we've got Eagle Wind in P8 holding off Black Wildcats in P9. We've got EXO round out the top 10. We've got Nachos in P11, Blue XR8 in P12. He was showing blue flags a lap ago. So the leaders are about to get past him here. And then we've got Stubbies rounding out the 13 car field. And he's struggling in this third race here for round 4. But very good to see that he's going to be rotating the laps around to get a decent haul of points here. So it's very good in determining the final standings towards the end of the season. Every point counts here. Doesn't matter where you finish in races like these. It's all about maintaining your superiority from where you stand in the standings and where you want to be. So as for Ty Morgo, he's one of those guys looking to make up a few positions after what could be a race win in a few laps' time. You see his teammate, Angry Old Fella, in the background there. The gap between those two, 3.2 seconds. So it'll be a big points haul for their team as well. As You'll Be Dead's trying to track down Angry Old Fella in P2. As he got a little bit too much curb there. But very good car control to hold on to it. And Hammer is tracking well once again in P4. So he's trying to get back into the groove that he once was earlier on in this race. So we might be able to see him make a move on the championship leader if he can get close enough. We've got Titan in P3. Morningstar Mike is gaining ground, but very slowly here. He hasn't got too many laps to do so if he's to make that move up into the top 5. So he's going to have to be very aggressive on the closing 4 laps here. You can see Someone Awesome is really under pressure from Eagle in behind. These two both carrying severe amounts of damage on the front end of their machines as Someone Awesome goes into the outside wall there. And he's going to have to give position to Eagle Win. So Eagle Win moves up into P7 now. And he's rotated the car and we're going to have contact. No, we're not. Very good awareness from Someone Awesome. Black Wildcats also avoiding the carnage there. So EXO currently sitting in 10th position with a lot of space in front of him and behind him. So he's going to have to settle for 10th position here as it looks. We'll go back to the front. Ty Morgo with a 3.2 second lead over his teammate, who's currently under pressure from the championship leader. These two wheel to tail now. Let's see what happens in the closing laps of this one. As You'll Be Dead championship leader tries to make moves all over the track here, trying to play for track position, trying to get an overlap down the main straight, but he doesn't have the traction on exit. He's just going to have to slot in right behind Angry Old Fella now and try to get a little bit of a draft on the brakes now, heading in the turn 2. Massive dive from You'll Be Dead on the inside. Is he going to pull it off? Yes, he is. Very good awareness for Angry Old Fella not to turn in on him. You got Hammer in the background looking a little bit unsettled in the rear, but he holds on to it. So it's going to be a 3-car battle for second spot in this race for race 3 of round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes Group A series. As we've got a little bit of lap traffic up ahead in Blue XR8, so he's just going to have to get out of the way of these guys so they can continue hostilities here. But if you put lap times in comparison to those guys, Blue XR8 is probably quick enough to stay in front of him. As long as he doesn't hinder the results too much, it should be fine. But he is fast enough to stay in front of him as Nachos gets out of the way there. So Blue XR8 moves up into P11 after Nachos taking a tour off the track there into the grass. So Blue XR8 got You'll Be Dead right on his tail, who's a lap ahead of him almost. So we got 3 1/4 laps to go here at Imola for race 3 of round 4. It's the final race tonight, and it's the longer of the 3 races. And currently is in favour of Ty Morgo by 2.5 seconds at the front over the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. So as for You'll Be Dead, he's got not a lot of laps to do this. He's got lap traffic up ahead in Blue XR8. So getting out of the way there is Blue XR8. Very good move just to let You'll Be Dead through. So we know You'll Be Dead is trying to track to get a clean sweep here at Imola. And at this stage, it's looking likely, but he's got to gain 2 seconds in basically less than 2 laps now. So he hasn't got many of those to go. So as long as Ty Morgo keeps it on track at a reasonably fast pace, he should come home in P1. As You'll Be Dead is a further 1.9 seconds down the road from him. And then Hammer a further 2 seconds away from You'll Be Dead. We've got Angry in P4, 6.8 seconds behind the lead. And we got Titan rounding out the top 5, still holding off Morningstar Mike in P6. So that gap between those two has sort of stagnated to that point as we see it now. We got Black Wildcats having a little bit of a moment in P7 there. Eagle Wind in P8 carrying a lot of damage, as well as Someone Awesome in P9. And we got EXO rounding out the top 10. We go to the lap traffic in Blue Exo8 in P11. Nachos in P12. And then Stubbies in P13 there. So those guys just looking to get the cars cross control line to get some points here at Imola. So Ty Morgo out of the penultimate corner now at Imola. He should be able to come home with the race win. He's got 1.2 seconds in hand over the championship leader. You'll be dead. So he's got 1 lap to hold on here. Is he going to be able to do it? We'll wait and see in 1 lap's time. We'll go on board cockpit view to see how he pulls up. Turn 1 very deep on the brakes. Going back all the way back to second gear. On the throttle very early on exit of turn 3. You can only just see You'll Be Dead as a dot in the rear view mirror. It's a very technical fast chicane here. It's a trail braking zone that you don't want to get wrong. Heading into the hairpin on exit of sector 1. Almost diff locked it there, Ty Morgo. And now You'll Be Dead is really playing it himself into this on the closing lap here of race 3 of round 4. As we enter the mid-sector on board with Ty Morgo. Let's see if there's any penalties. So we got a 1 second time penalty for Morningstar Mike. He's moved up in the P5. Because Angry Old Fella has been relegated back to P6. He's got a 2 second time penalty. 1 second time penalty to Eagle Wind and a 3 second time penalty to Blue XR8. So those are your current information on time penalties there. Ty Morgo, he's got severe amounts of pressure from behind. He's got to be able to pull it up in this downhill braking zone here. We'll go trackside view as we view You'll Be Dead in the background, right on the rear bumper of Ty Morgo. They're basically going to go bumper to bumper out the penultimate corner here. And if You'll Be Dead gets a little bit of a run in the draft here, he might be able to make a move. He's going to have to try getting overlap. Nah, he's not going to be able to get it. He doesn't have the momentum. And it's going to be a wonderful victory for Ty Morgo, holding off the championship leader in P2. And then Hammer will come home in P3, Titan in P4. Morningstar Mike rounding out the top 5. And we've got Angry Old Fella in position 6 there. Black Wildcats in P7. Eagle Wind in P8. He's coming out of the mid-sector now. He's unsettled the car on exit of the chicane there. Someone Awesome right behind him in P9. So it's all to play for between P8 and P9. Eagle Wind versus Someone Awesome. It's going to be a bitter fight until the end of the line here. It's a matter of who can keep the car on track at this stage. As Eagle Wind goes out wide, is that going to invite Someone Awesome into the picture here? It might do so as he's unsettled on the exit. He's going to have to give position to Someone Awesome. As he had to take a tour of the grass there on exit of the penultimate corner. But very good car control to hold on to it. Unfortunately, Someone Awesome will move up in the P8. No, so something's happened there. I'm not sure why Someone Awesome opted to go out of the throttle there. Oh no, he's got a 30-second time penalty, Someone Awesome. So what's happened there? What has happened there? Absolute clueless. EXO will come home in P10. I think he'll be the last car to cross control line. So there are your unofficial results. Unfortunately for the championship leader, You'll Be Dead. He was not able to clean sweep this round of round 4 for Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A Series. But the race win will come in favour of Ty Morgo. A wonderful victory for him. We got Hammer rounding out the top 3. Titan in P4, Morningstar Mike in P5. We go further down beyond that. Angry Old Fellow P6, Black Wildcats, Eaglewind, EXO, and Southern Awesome rounding out the top 10. And we got Blue XR8, Nachos, and then Stubbies rounding out the 13 car field here for round 4 of Go2Whoa's Mercedes-Benz Group A Series. I've been Metamon, and I hope you enjoyed the 4th installment here for that series. So for now, in between then, I'll see you this Sunday night for the NASCAR and Xfinity Sunday Series. And then on Monday night, I'm pretty sure we'll have Bush League racing as well. But as for this series for Go2Who, that will be next Wednesday, same time, round 5. And I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.